Before we continue with the analysis of this new intertemporal model, I want to stop and get some perspective. And to do that, I'm going to compare what we're doing now to the static model where consumers had a consumption leisure choice. And I think you'll see that there are some very strong parallels. So in that static model, the consumer's budget constraint could be written as consumption plus expenditures on leisure as being equal to, this was their total income due to time that they have available. And then we had profits minus taxes. And our point here was that the wage was a relative price. And because it appears here, where it looks a lot like a relative price, but also on the right-hand side where it becomes part of income, we know that a change in the wage would generate both substitution and income effects. Whereas a change in, say, profits minus taxes, that generated only income effects. And when you have only income effects, that just amounts graphically to a parallel shift in the budget constraint. Now let's go to the model that we're working with now, this intertemporal model. We have consumption today plus future consumption, but we have to discount that by the real interest rate to convert goods in the future into goods today. And that's equal to the after-tax income today plus the present value of after-tax income in the future. And just so that we're clear on this, when you have CF over 1 plus R, this is in units of, CF is in goods in the future. 1 plus R is in units of goods in the future over goods today. Remember, that's a relative price. So these units cancel, and you end up with something that is just in units of goods today. Okay, and the same thing on the right-hand side. But now what you can see is that 1 plus R has a role that is parallel to that of the wage. So 1 over 1 plus R is going to be the relative price of future consumption in terms of current consumption. And because it appears on the right-hand side, changes in R will affect the present value of future income, and therefore we're going to have that exactly analogous. R is going to be a relative price, and change in R is going to generate both substitution and income effects. Whereas changes in Y minus T or YF minus TF, those are going to generate only income effects. So the bottom line is that in terms of the microeconomics, this model is really no different than the static model that we've already studied. We're going to have changes in relative prices. Those are going to generate substitution and income effects. And we're going to have changes in income that don't change relative prices, and those therefore are going to have only income effects. The only difference is that now we have the possibility that some consumers may be borrowers and some consumers may be lenders. And for that reason, changes in the real interest rate may have different effects depending on the type of consumer that we're thinking about.